Hello, everyone. My name's Jill Stern, and I'm the Director of Alumni Engagement here at Williston, Northampton. And I would like to welcome everyone to the 5th induction ceremony for the Williston Northampton Athletic Hall of Fame. We're thrilled that our entire school community can be part of this celebration, honoring the many accomplishments of our talented student athletes, exceptional coaches, and outstanding teams. I want to thank the co-chairs of the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, Mr. Mark Conroy and Mr. Jay Grant, for their leadership in assembling today's class. I'd also like to thank our student presenters who will be announcing the inductees today. But before we begin to celebrate our remarkable past, Mr. Conroy, Williston's athletic director, is going to say a few words that will recognize the athletic achievements of our present-day Williston athletes.
Good afternoon, everyone. What a great day. We gather today to celebrate new inductees into Williston's Athletic Hall of Fame at the end of what has been another terrific year for Williston athletics. Here is just a sampling of the many highlights of this past year. A first ever NEPSAC All-Star cross-country meet champion. A record-setting performance by our quarterback, who also earned the Boyden Award given to the top prep football scholar athlete in Western Mass. A 6-time MVP of the ski team, who ended his career in style by winning both the slalom and the giant slalom races at the NEPSAC Championships. A wrestler who eclipsed the 100-win milestone during a noteworthy career. A record-setting diver who had the best season of any diver in NEPSAC history. A girls' swim team that broke numerous school and NEPSAC records on its way to its second consecutive NEPSAC championship. A senior boys swimmer who put together arguably one of the finest seasons ever in the proud history of our swim program by breaking 6 school records, winning numerous NEPSAC championships, and being named an All-American. A young lady who in her junior year has become our all-time leading scorer in water polo. And finally, a girls lacrosse team that currently sits at #1 in the standing of all NEPSAC prep schools, outdistancing Choate, Exeter, and Loomis. It is also worth noting today that 3 recent graduates have made waves on the national stage in the past few months. Jake Ross, class of 2016, was awarded the Division III National Rookie of the Year Award in basketball. Eric Osberg, class of 2014, currently leads NCAA Division I baseball and hitting. And Gabby Thomas, class of 2015, continues her remarkable track and field career by winning 5 events last weekend at the Ivy League Championships to be named the meet's unanimous most outstanding performer. Additionally, we have 34 members of the class of 2017, nearly 30%, who will be competing in college next year. Certainly a testament to the strength of our program. In short, it's been another tremendous year for the record books, which brings me back to the reason why we are all gathered today, to celebrate some of the athletes who came before our current students and have left their marks on Williston athletic history. Let's turn our attention to this year's group of honorees. This year we'll be inducting 6 individuals and 1 team into the Hall of Fame. As they did a year ago, we have 7 current student athletes who will make presentations to this year's class of inductees. First up is Nick Hill, senior, class of 2017. Nick, come on up.
My name is Nick Hill, class of 2017, and it is my privilege to present Coach Alan Shaler for the induction into the Hall of Fame. Depending on whom you are speaking to, you might conclude that cross country is the most difficult sport of all. There are no timeouts, substitutions, halftimes, or breaks. The sport requires stamina and talent, but to be successful, you must have a strong heart and an even stronger drive to give your best every day. Coach Alan Shaler demonstrated both of these characteristics as part of the fabric of Williston athletics for over 37 years, where he served as an English teacher and coach. Coach Shaler gave legs and wings to the cross-country program with its inception in 1963, coaching the sport through the 1999 season. Additionally, he started coaching track in 1960 and, with the exception of a few years in the mid-60s, served as either the head coach or the assistant coach through the 2000 season. Coach Shaler was clearly well prepared to develop a cross-country program after a very successful cross-country and track career at Hamilton College. Running for Hamilton, he won numerous awards and served as the team's captain for 3 years, all indicative of the early signs of his dedication and leadership ability as a coach. In addition, Coach Shaler is a parent of 3 Williston alumni, a mentor to countless Williston cross-country and track athletes, the inspiration for Williston's Shaler Invitational Cross-Country Meet, and a tireless advocate for the new cross-country course at Williston. Without question, it is certain that Coach Alan Shaler's legacy will live on at Williston Northampton. I would like to invite Coach Alan Shaler to the stage to accept his award.
I have 2 sons here today, and I have a special request for George and Jimmy. I want it mentioned in my obituary that I was honored on the same stage and date with Amos Alonzo Stagg. When I think of the many fine athletes, teams, and coaches that have been associated with this great school, I feel very humble and a little strange. Strange because when I was the age of the Williston students I later coached and taught, I wasn't much like them. I was regarded as a good student and musician and not much else. Oh, I did enjoy pickup games of baseball and softball in the neighborhood. And at the summer camp I went to, there was always a track meet, and I always won the distance event. But I always thought that anybody who went out for interscholastic sports got either tired or hurt. Besides, the aroma in the gymnasium bothered me. Then I went off to college and did rather well in cross country and track. Somebody plays football. Somebody plays basketball. Somebody plays baseball. Nobody plays cross country. You go to a soccer game. You go to a hockey game. You go to a lacrosse game. There is no such thing as a cross country game. The words game and play suggest big grins, a million laughs. Now, if somebody is running a cross-country meet and he has a big grin on his face and is waving his arms around like Big Papi on a home run trot, something is wrong. In some sports, when an athlete has finished competing in an event, he may say, I was really good today. I've never been better. Now, this is very subjective. It may be true, but it may be wishful thinking. In cross country, there is complete objectivity because there is the stopwatch. Now, with this grim picture I have painted, some of you are wondering, why would anybody go out for something like cross country, especially with a sadist like this as the mentor? I learned very early that the good cross country coach is one who can inject a little levity amongst the pain. For instance, we used to play cowboys and Indians in the woods on days before meets, our ultimate frisbee. And then when we had a practice, I would pass amongst the sweaty bodies as they did their stretching exercises and make all sorts of inane comments and witty remarks. And as the practice proceeded, in between the rigorous drills, I would do the same. I think the kids liked this. They often did it themselves, often at my expense. I suppose I should, well, I say first, I always tried to find out as much as I could about our opponents before a meet. If it was going to be one-sided, one way or the other, I told the kids, forget about the opposition, do your best and just think about the clock. If it was going to be close, I tried to zero in on the opponent's weaknesses and minimize ours. Some coaches in some schools like to psych up their kids before every meet. I think this may be dishonest. If you know you don't have a chance and you tell the kids you can do it and they don't, they get a guilty conscience afterward, and I think they don't trust the coach much. I feel that you can only do this a couple of times a season anyway. I remember one time, if you're going to do it, it better work. I remember one time we were going to have a very tough meet. It was our last one of the season. We were facing the boys in green from Berkshire. They were defending interscholastic champions. I called the boys together before the gun went off. I had a brown paper bag in my hands. I said, boys, this is an important date. On this day, exactly 25 years ago, I won the New York State Collegiate Championship. And I whipped out of the bag a framed picture of myself breaking the tape. It was inscribed with my time, the date, the significance. You could smell the adrenaline. The gun went off. What seemed like an eternity, they started to come in. It was a gray November day, no more daylight saving time. The first runner appeared coming out of the park. I couldn't tell whether he was green for Berkshire or blue for Williston. He got closer, he was blue. Another one appeared, he was blue. Another one appeared, he was blue. We took the first 7 places, a complete shutout in a meet we could have lost. I suppose you think at this time I should start reminiscing about some of the great runners that I've had, and I won't do this. Because with a few exceptions, they were all great kids. I trusted them. I think they trusted me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Coach. Will Xavier Tebow, class of 2018, please join us on the stage to present the next inductee?
Hello, my name is Xavier Tebow, class of 2018, and I am proud to present veteran coach Amos Alonzo Stagg for induction into the Hall of Fame. Best known as an athlete and pioneering college coach in football, Amos Alonzo Stagg began his coaching career right here at Williston Academy. He was the first paid coach of football, coaching the 1890 and 1891 teams, as well as the baseball team in 1891. A graduate of Yale University, where he played end, he was selected to the first college football All-American team in 1889. After Yale, he went on to serve as head football coach at the Springfield YMCA Training School, which became Springfield College. He spent 40 years as head football coach at the University of Chicago, where he also coached track for 32 years, baseball for 19 years, and basketball for 1 season. After retiring from the University of Chicago in 1932, Coach Stagg served as head coach at Pacific University from 1932 to 1946, then served as an assistant coach to his son at Susquehanna until 1952. He passed away in 1965 at the age of 102. In total, he coached college football for 70 years, compiling a career college football record of 314, 199, and 35. He was inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and a coach in the charter class of 1951. And the NCAA Division III National Championship game is also called the Amos Alonzo Stagg Bowl in his honor. Among the innovations credited to Stagg are the tackling dummy, the huddle, the reverse, man in motion plays, the lateral pass, uniform numbers, and awarding varsity letters. Amos Alonzo Stagg exemplified the virtues of many athletes gathered here today. A commitment to excellence in all athletic endeavors, and a passion for a single sport that inspired him to leave a mark that has lasted for generations. This award will be sent to his great-grandson, Robert Stagg, who lives in Michigan. Rob sends his regrets that no member of the Stagg family was able to attend today's ceremony, but assured us the award would be shared with his father, Amos Alonzo Stagg III, and his Aunt Barbara, the grandchildren of Amos Alonzo Stagg. Please join me in a round of applause for Coach Stagg.
Thank you, Xavier. Could I ask Saul Blaine, class of 2017, to come forward?
Good afternoon. My name is Saul Blaine, class of 2017, and I am proud to have the honor of presenting David Felsen, class of 1962, for induction into the Hall of Fame. Whether he was taking to the court or the field, David Whitey Felsen was an undeniable presence at Williston. His notable contributions to Williston Academy's soccer, basketball, and baseball teams are evidenced by his many honors, including team captain, MVP, and co-winner of the Denman Award given to the top senior athlete, an honor he shared with Chuck Vernon, also in the class of 1962, in their senior year. After Williston, Mr. Felsen continued his studies at Haverford College, earning a Bachelor of Arts degree in 1966 and then a master's degree in 1971 from the University of Pennsylvania. He also continued to excel in sports. He served as co-captain of the Haverford College varsity soccer team and went on to coach the team, leading them to a league championship and 2 NCAA Top 16 appearances. As a Haverford soccer player, Mr. Felsen was named the Middle and Atlantic All-Conference goalkeeper and the All-Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware goalkeeper. In 2016, Mr. Felsen was honored by Haverford with the Larry Foreman Class of '60 Award, recognizing not just his athletic career, but his subsequent devotion to serving society. Mr. Felsen continued to share his passions for athletics, and throughout his career as a teacher and headmaster at the Germantown Friends School, where he coached varsity basketball for 16 years, bringing home 5 championships. He founded the basketball and reading clinics at Germantown and served as a mentor for the Friends South Central School summer programs. Since leaving Williston, Mr. Felsen has continuously tried to make a positive impact in the lives of others. He is currently involved in creating and building a youth basketball center with a strong academic component near his home in North Philadelphia. I invite Mr. David Felsen, class of 1962, to the stage to accept his award.
All right, thank you very much. It's fabulous that the students are here in particular. Well, I shouldn't say in particular. That's unfair to a lot of people, isn't it? It's a great honor. It's a great honor to be inducted into the Williston Northampton Hall of Fame, especially in the company of my daughter Kate and my son David, my classmates from the class of '62. We're celebrating our 55th reunion, and with my coaches Ray Brown and Rick Francis here. Sort of to put you at ease, I have to say right away that returning to Williston and Northampton and to my hometown evokes a flood of memories. Therefore, I've written out these remarks to keep myself within a certain time limit. I grew up in this town and lived just down the road at 10 Park Street across from the town library. When I was 9, my father, who was a doctor and general practitioner in this town, took me by the hand and walked with me to the Williston Junior School for my entrance exam. 1 month later, he died very suddenly, and my mother, Agnes McDonald, faced a difficult decision whether to stay and raise my sisters and me in East Hampton or return with us to Scotland, her homeland, where she had lots of family and support. And right at that critical time, Phillips Stevens, the headmaster then of Williston, visited my mother and offered a full scholarship for me. And then he went to the headmistresses of Northampton School for Girls, a Miss Whitaker and Miss Bement, and arranged scholarships for my sisters Jill and Heather. Now, I like to say my mother was not a Scot for nothing. She cared deeply about education, and she knew its value. And thus we stayed in East Hampton, and I came to Williston. My passion for sport was boundless, and I have to tell you, a little bit crazy, a little bit nuts. When I was a boy, I played all the time with my friends. Dickie Shepherdson, Chucky Vernon, Dave Stevens, Tom Zavorsky were all here, all the time. And most often we played right here on this campus, which we consider our own personal playground. But I even took my games indoors, dribbled the basketball in the basement of our house, up the stairs into the kitchen, faked left, drove right past my mother. One night, practicing my baseball swing in the living room, I took a cut at a low outside pitch and smashed to smithereens my mother's favorite Majolica flower vase, which just happened to be sitting on the coffee table. Needless to say, my mother was concerned. She would often sit me down and read to me the latest editorials of James Reston, whom she called Scotty, and Walter Lippmann. I don't know how much I absorbed then, but the lesson of balance, mind and body, stayed with me. I was very fortunate that Williston had a strong athletic program and that I grew up with so many great guys and teammates. And I was just as lucky to find here teacher coaches who took an interest in me and helped me develop confidence in myself. As a boy, growing up without a father, their care and encouragement of me meant more than I can express. I owe a lot to Charlie Duggan, a fabulous teacher coach in the junior school, Dan Carpenter, my algebra teacher, baseball coach, and ever cheerful next-door neighbor. Rick Francis, my basketball coach, who also arranged for me a summer job and valuable experience as a camp counselor at a wonderful camp which survives on Cape Cod, Camp Monomoy. And Ray Brown, who coached me in soccer, basketball, and baseball, and spent countless hours after practice kicking balls at me to make me a better goalkeeper. And maybe even more important, he also spent countless hours patiently listening to whatever was on my mind. Finally, I was most fortunate in my choice professions, teaching, coaching, and administration. And that choice was profoundly influenced by my experience growing up here and going to this school in my hometown. I'm ever grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. I'd like to ask current senior Bina Sweet to join me on the stage to make the next presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Conroy. Good afternoon. My name is Bina Sweet, class of 2017, and it is my honor to present Stephen P. White, class of 1977, for induction into the Hall of Fame. While Coach White was a team captain and defensive MVP in football and a very successful attackman in lacrosse, his passion for sports was most evident on the wrestling mat. He was captain of the varsity wrestling team during both his junior and senior year, as well as a standout competitor among the best in New England during his era. Wrestling at 115 pounds as a junior, Coach White was undefeated at 13-0, winning state and New England championships and placing third at the National Independent School Championship. As a senior, he moved up to the 130-pound class and repeated his junior year success by going undefeated again, winning state and New England titles and being named an All-American for the second consecutive year. In 4 years on the wrestling mat, he only lost a total of 4 matches. After graduating, he continued his college wrestling career at Wesleyan University, where he wrestled for Coach John Biddiscombe, father of our own Kate Biddiscombe. In 2007, Coach White returned to the Williston Northampton, where he has served as an assistant varsity coach to the wrestling team for the past 10 years with notable successes. Head coach Matt Cainlong says this about his contribution to the program. Coach White comes to each practice and competition and inspires each wrestler to be the very best version of himself. In doing so, he makes every wrestler work a little harder, improve a little more, and love our great sport a little more. I can truly say that each and every time I interact with him, he inspires me to be a better coach and a better man. He does it all humbly and without any need for thanks or attention. It is what people of the highest character do. In addition to his success both as a player and a coach, it is also worth noting that Coach White has served his country with the utmost distinction. He has spent 6 years in the United States Marine Corps and has rose to the rank of colonel in the United States Army Reserve, serving 9 months in Bosnia and 2 years in both Iraq and Afghanistan. Coach White, You have done much service to our country, and you have done much service to our school. In service to you, please join us on stage to accept your award.
At ease. You know I paid being an extra to speak in that dramatic voice. My name is Stephen White, and I am grateful for this prestigious honor. Absolutely surprised, and it is a recognition for which I am truly honored. I have many people to thank. First and foremost, my parents for making my education at Williston a reality. My father attended every match I wrestled between 1973 and 1981. My brother Richard, Williston 75, in the audience down there, used me as his personal wrestling dummy starting in about 1971. We were teammates in 73 to 75, and he's continued to be a strong supporter, even through all my deployments to this day. Bob Blanchard, Williston 76, and Ralph Miller, Williston 77, were teammates and friends extraordinaire, and they continue to be so. I need to say thank you to coaches Arditon, Maselli, Reddington, and Ruggieri. They were great guys. There were too many Williston teammates to mention here, so I just have to say thanks to you, all of you out there. You were the best. I do have to thank the Williston teams 2007, 13, and from 15 to the present. Coach Matt Cainlong and AD Mark Conroy for allowing me to pursue my wrestling coaching dream here at Williston. Scholar athletes like this year's seniors Bina, Hunter, Arvin, Chip, Matt, and Pete make coaching not only satisfying, but really fun. Finally, and most importantly, I cannot coach without the support of my wife, Gail, and my daughter, Taylor. Gail puts up with being a wrestling widow every year from late November until early March. My daughter, Taylor, inspires by reminding me that it's not enough to just participate, we must compete. Thank you. See you all in November.
Thanks, Coach. At this point, I'd like to call up Junior Madison Fulcher Melody to induct the next inductee.
Good afternoon. My name is Madison Fulcher Melody, class of 2018, and I have the privilege of presenting Abigail Wimet-Katuska, 99, for induction into the Hall of Fame. If competing in multiple sports develops athletes as great competitors and teammates, it would be fair to say that Abigail Wimet-Katuska is a perfect example. Earning 16 varsity letters in 4 sports, basketball, soccer, field hockey, and lacrosse, while at Williston, she distinguished herself as a tremendous all-around athlete. As a basketball player, Ms. Katuska scored over 1,400 points, surpassing the 1,000-point milestone during her junior season, the 3rd highest in school history. Her athletic accomplishments carried over to her academic life, where she earned both the Valedictory Award for the school's top scholar and the Dorothy Bement Award for distinguished contribution to the school life. For her athletic accomplishments, Ms. Katuska was a recipient of the Alumni Bowl for Athletics given to the top senior female athlete in her class. Ms. Katuska continued her remarkable success, where she earned her degree in physics, played field hockey and lacrosse for 4 years, and basketball during her first year on campus. In field hockey, she won the 2-time Regional All-American and won all NESCAC honors. She was selected to play in the Division III Senior All-Star Game and won multiple NESCAC Athlete of the Week honors. Her accomplishments on the lacrosse field were just as outstanding. All-time leading point scorer, career assist, ranked nationally in points and assists, 3-time All-NESCAC selection, and 3-time All-American, including first team during both her junior and senior years. To top it all off, Ms. Katuska finished her career by helping lead her team to the 2003 NCAA Division III National Championship. Today, she lives in Ohio with her family and continues to support women's athletics as the girls basketball commissioner for St. Mary's Sports Association. It is my pleasure to invite Miss Abby Wimet-Katuska to the stage to accept her award.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Madison. I'm truly honored and humbled by this recognition. I'm joining an amazingly accomplished group of athletes and coaches who have been inducted over the last few years, including some of which I played for and with, and I'm incredibly honored to be part of this 2017 class. Before speaking of my time at Williston, I wanted to start by thanking my parents who are here today, Anne, a Northampton School for Girls graduate, class of 65, and Jack, who were always an amazing example of sacrifice and support. I can't recall a single game at any level, recreational, Williston, or Amherst, that at least one of them wasn't in attendance. And with 6 kids and various sports for each, I don't know how they did that. And with such ease. They were encouraging, never critical, always happy and proud for even the smallest of feats, and providing me with a wonderful example. I also want to thank all of my siblings who helped shape me and push me athletically and personally. In particular, my 3 oldest brothers, Jake, Rick, and Will. Besides my parents, I credit them often with my athletic success. They were all incredible athletes and were the perfect balance of tough but encouraging me growing up. I can't imagine how annoying I was following them around, constantly asking to play whatever sport they were playing. And more often than not, they let me join in. However, there weren't any gimmies. I had to earn my keep, and I had to keep up. And while that led to many frustrating games of 21 or timed mile and 2-mile runs around the neighborhood, it also fine-tuned my outside shot, encouraged quick hands and quick feet, and molded me early as a tough competitor, unafraid to take on the older or bigger kids or whatever lay ahead. In my 6 years at Williston, some of my most formative athletic experiences came from my time in the middle school. In particular, meeting and eventually playing for Mr. Brown as a 7th grader on the varsity girls basketball team. When I first met Brownie and he suggested that I try out, I was excited, didn't put too much weight into the idea of actually making the team, but thought it was pretty amazing just to be there. However, from the start, he treated me like all of the girls, regardless of age or grade, and encouraged me to play instinctively and confidently. It was a defining time for me athletically, and I am so appreciative of that experience and the confidence that it awarded me going forward. Williston was an extraordinarily nurturing environment for me as a student athlete. Many of my teachers came to my games and were as excited for my athletic successes as they were my academic ones, and vice versa with my coaches. The decision to stop playing soccer was very difficult for my 16-year-old self, but another instance in which I was reminded of the community sport at Williston. After my sophomore soccer season, I felt like I just really needed a change. And it was extremely hard to admit that even though I had played varsity since 8th grade and had been a part of a wonderful and successful team, that I didn't love it anymore. It took the better part of that year to get up the courage to go to Pill, my coach, but I remember how vividly how supportive he was in light of what I was saying, and that just speaks so much to all of my experiences here at Williston. It's remarkable that that decision to switch sports to field hockey set in motion my life post-Williston. I was apprehensive about trying a new sport as an 11th grader, but it was also incredibly freeing. I got to try something new with no expectations, no pressure, and could just enjoy my final 2 fall seasons. The summer after my junior year, Williston hosted a camp for field hockey run by the Amherst College coach, Chris Paradis, and I decided to attend. That experience with Chris was tremendous. By the end of the summer, I'd gone from wanting to play D1, basketball or lacrosse, to thinking about potentially playing multiple sports at a top D3 school like Amherst. And from then on, that idea was tough to beat. Thank you again for this amazing honor, and to Williston for all that it provided for me as a student athlete. I'm incredibly proud to accept this with my husband and 3 kids here today as well. I met Joe at Amherst, and he became the strongest supporter of my athletic career, even while balancing his own. It's been so exciting to embark on this new chapter of athletics in my life as a mom and coach, to my daughters Annie and Jackie, and to my son Chase, who are an absolute joy to watch navigate the court and fields and find their own way. Thank you all again.
Thanks, Abby. Congratulations. Our next presenter is Senior Sarah Marion. Come on forward, Sarah.
Good afternoon. My name is Sarah Marion, class of 2017, and I am honored to present Dr. Colleen Hession-Thom, class of 2002, for induction into the Hall of Fame. As a member of the Williston 1998 girls basketball team, Dr. Thom saw her team achieve the school's highest number of wins in a single season, 20, a record that still stands today. A prolific scorer in basketball, known for her unlimited range, she set a number of individual records, including all-time scoring leader with 2,096 points over 6 seasons. Proving the saying that good things come in 3, Dr. Thom broke all the 3-point scoring records, was recognized 3 times as a team MVP, and was selected to the All-New England team 3 times. In addition to her incredible scoring accomplishments, she helped lead the team to 5 NEPSAC postseason tournament appearances, captaining the team as a senior. Her athletic contribution to Williston not only played out on the court, but on the field as well, where she played for Coach Ann Pickrell as the starting field hockey goalie on 4 teams that made the NEPSAC postseason tournament. She captained the team during both her junior and senior year. Her athletic success continued in basketball at Williams College, where she became an all-NEPSAC performer and enjoyed a terrific career, setting the school record for 233 career three-pointers while becoming the school's 5th all-time leading scorer with 1,341 points. Since graduating from Williams, Dr. Thom went on to complete medical school. She currently practices medicine in the Philadelphia area, specializing in internal medicine. It is my pleasure to invite Dr. Colleen Hession-Thom to the stage to receive her award.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much to Mark Conroy and the rest of the Williston Athletic Department for this honor today. I'm thrilled to be back here in Western Massachusetts. I don't get back here very often, living in Philadelphia now with a small toddler that doesn't enjoy long car rides, so it's always wonderful to be back here as well as to share this place. I spent my most formative years with my family, so thank you very much for the excuse to come back here today. I'd like to use this time I've been allotted to recognize and thank the numerous teammates, friends, coaches, teachers, and advisors who not only shaped my athletic and academic experience while at Williston, but continue to be part of my life today. While my athletic career at Williston was mostly highlighted by my time on the basketball court, I also had the pleasure of spending 5 years as the varsity field hockey goalie, in part due to the athletic department's expectation that you have to play a sport each season, allowing me to try something new, meet new people, friends I otherwise may have not had the opportunity to spend as much time with, and allowing me to step outside my comfort zone and attempt excellence in new areas, skills and a philosophy that has helped me in my adult life today. Didn't go mentioned in my introduction today, but I still believe I hold the sports school record for most concussions suffered during warm-ups after making a brilliant diving save shot that was rifled at me by a pregnant Sarah Sawyer before a playoff game, which about sums up my entire Williston career on the field hockey field. Thankfully, athletic trainer Jay Grant was light years ahead of the NFL concussion protocol and deemed me ineligible for the game as I vomited on the sidelines. A big thank you to Ann Pickrell, who's not only my head coach of the field hockey team, but also my academic advisor. Ann is someone I have always long considered to be one of the most caring, genuine, dedicated, and loyal people I met at Williston during my time, so thank you. Most of my athletic accomplishments, as I mentioned, took place on the basketball court, a team sport where individual accomplishments are reflective of teammates and coaching. Over my 6 years on the team, I was fortunate to be surrounded by a number of outstanding teammates and athletes. Just to name a few, my fellow inductee here today, Abby Wimett, I can't pronounce her married name, apologies. Friend Megan Sullivan, Kendall Johnson-Smith, Jenna Borowski, Holly Taylor, Meredith Morgan, and Katie Coffey, to name a few. A vital part of our team's success was certainly that of head coach Ray Brown, whose legacy in the Williston Athletic Department certainly speaks for itself, along with assistant coaches Janine Whipple and Amy Seymour. Beyond being a great coach, Ray has also been a wonderful friend who not only supported me through high school, but also during my college career and adult life as well. He even whipped out the coveted baby blue polyester suit he started wearing during playoff games in the 70s for my wedding 6 years ago. Special outfit and special occasions. My recollection for wins and losses, playoff games, and personal accolades during my time at Williston is pretty hazy now, 15 years later. Most of my lasting memories revolve around those spent in the back of the blue travel vans, I'm not sure if they still have those, going throughout rural Connecticut to various prep schools, lunch club meals before basketball games, parking my car by the practice fields while teammates poured out of my trunk to avoid the feared unit from the disciplinary committee, and casually walking and tracking wet, muddy snow over the coveted green seal in the Deerfield Gymnasium. I would encourage all the student athletes here at Williston today to cherish your time here. Not only that spent on the athletic fields, but also the unique opportunities and people the school has to offer. Despite spending 4 years at a college and a medical school, I have to say there's something particularly special about walking through the quad of this campus and a sense of calm and familiarity I don't necessarily experience while walking through my other alma maters. At this time, I'd like to personally thank my parents who are here today, as they were for every Williston game, no matter what time of day or what time of week, and as they continue to be for every child care emergency, and for giving me the opportunity to spend 6 years at Williston. To say you have been supportive does not do it justice. Thank you. And lastly, thank you to my husband, Chris, and daughter, Madeline, who are here today. As I mentioned, I'm absolutely thrilled to be able to share this place with them that has been so important to me throughout my teenage years. So thank you again to the Williston Athletic Department for this honor, and congratulations to the other athletes here today. And a happy 15-year reunion to my classmates. Thank you.
Thanks, Colleen. And finally, to recognize our final inductees, I'd like to ask senior Ian Osberg to join me on the stage. Ian.
Good afternoon. My name is Ian Osberg, class of 2017, and I am proud to present the undefeated 1981 varsity football team for induction in the Hall of Fame. Led by head coach Rick Francis and assistant coaches Steve Purrington and Jay Redinger and Robert Shaw, 76, the 1981 varsity football team was the first Williston football team to go undefeated since the 1963 squad. Outscoring their opponents 217-61, in the 1981 team enjoyed a tremendous season, including 2 shutouts. Co-captain Steve Kay and Steve Oken led the team to average game scores of 31-7. Proving impenetrable on defense, the team allowed 0 touchdown passes during the season, while limiting opponents to an average of 2 yards per rushing attempt. The defense held all 8 opponents to under 100 yards total offense in each game, never giving up more than 14 points in any one game. Offensively, the team was led by a dynamic quartet of skill players. Quarterback Scott Estes, receiver Mike Deutsch, and running back Steve Kay and Steve Oken. Oken led the team in rushing with 585 yards, while Deutsch had a tremendous year with over 1,000 all-purpose yards. The team finished its special season in style when it defeated rival Gunnery 50-14 in its last game. Will the members of the Williston Northampton 1981 football team who are with us today, Mike Deutsch, John Hexamer, Steve Kay, Rodney Moore, Hank Bear, Dave Rogers, Joe Tarantino, Todd Francis, Joey Boynton, Coach Francis, and Coaches Purrington and Shaw, please join us on stage to receive your awards.
Good job, Ian. Just slide down to here. We'll do do some presentations here. I'll hand this to you, Coach.
Thank you, my friend.
You betcha.
Hey everyone, it's great to be home again. It's a great honor to be here with you today to represent the 1981 Williston Wildcat football team. This was a special group of student athletes that came together and was able to achieve what only one other Williston football team has ever done before, and that's go undefeated. For this team, it all started with Coach Francis. We're fortunate to have played for a legend, and Coach Francis had a huge impact on us. We had our share of contact in practice, and we were tough and battle ready. Coach preached discipline and understanding the details of the game. We made a change that year to a pro-style offense to take advantage of our skill sets. And we drilled and drilled and drilled. We studied game film as a team on Friday nights in preparation for our Saturday game. Coach had us well prepared, physically and mentally. To this day, I follow the principles that Coach taught us. To be humble, to be disciplined, and to work hard. Coach Francis is here. He was a head football coach at Williston for 42 years. He was also the athletic director, a really good math teacher, and a proud father of 2 Williston grads. Both great guys and friends of mine, Jeff Francis and Todd Francis. Coach Francis was inducted into the Williston Northampton School Hall of Fame in 2013. Just take a minute to recognize Coach Francis. I also want to recognize Jay Grant. Jay Grant's first year here was my first year. Sophomore year, we shared the same hall. And Jay was chugging Orange Crush then also. He was a young buck back then. Jay worked tirelessly behind the scenes as head trainer and managing all the equipment. And I remember Jay is a good guy who always cared about his players. And we're talking about concussions. Concussion protocol back in 1981. When we got our bell rung, we came to the sideline. There was Jay. Jay held up a couple fingers. If you got that right, Jay would ask you to score. You looked up at the scoreboard. You got that right? And then he pulled the ammonia strip out and he broke it, and you sniffed the ammonia and you're back in the game. That was concussion protocol in 1981. That's why we look the way we do now. Talent, we had some talent on this team. 9 of the upperclassmen went on to play college ball. The season was a special one. We started out at a Vermont Academy, 17-0, we won that game. And the second game against Canterbury, we won 18-7. The third game was against Westminster. I know we have some Westminster folks here in the administration. We destroyed them 35-6. It felt good. We like beating Westminster. Every year we beat them. Our big games that year were away at Loomis and Suffield. Loomis was a conference with the larger schools and always a tough opponent, and we took care of them 17-6. Our big rival at the time was Suffield. Both teams met mid-season the previous year, both undefeated, and Suffield had taken that one. It was the same situation in 1981. Both teams undefeated and 5-0. There was Parents' Weekend or homecoming there. It was a huge crowd. We trailed by TD at halftime, and we sat in the end zone, took a knee and listened to Coach Francis, and I'm sure we looked a bit shocked. And Francis looked over his shoulder, and we watched the Suffield guys hooping and hollering and high-fiving. And they looked back at us and said, "You've got them right where you want them." We went out on the field and dominated the second half and won that game 29-14. Oh yeah, we like beating Suffield. A snapshot of how explosive our offense was. It was a gunnery game. It was the last game of the year. And at halftime, Coach said, we're not going to throw the ball in the second half. So the first play from scrimmage in the third quarter was a quarterback sweep to our quarterback, Scott Estes. Scott broke it for 80 yards for a touchdown. We just destroyed them. This team was dynamic on both sides of the ball, special teams, offense, and defense. They averaged 27 points per game on offense and only let up 7.6 points per game on defense, and we got after it. It was a special season, and there was a certain buzz on campus. The whole Williston community rallied behind us. It was just an incredible time. On behalf of the whole team, everyone is here, all the other guys that couldn't be here today, I thank you so much for this great honor.
Thank you, Steve. I'm just reminded there are only two words that I ever taught you in those days: heads and tails.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone for attending this event and invite our Director of Choirs, Steve Berlanger, and the students to the stage to close the ceremonies by leading us in an enthusiastic rendition of Sammy. There will be a reception for inductees, friends, and family on the International Terrace directly behind me, immediately following. Students, good luck in your games today and tomorrow. Mr. Berlanger, the stage is yours. Where's Steve? Here he is.
Now, it says in the program that this will be led by the Caterwallers and Whittakers. And so I'm wondering, just by looking at all of our alumni here and our student body, can all the people who've ever sung in Cats and Wids please stand at this moment? I just want to see if we got any alumni. No Cats and Wids? Current students, please stand. All right. All right. So these are who are going to lead you in terms of sound in Sammy. And I'm expecting a lot of sound coming from our faculty, who I know all love to sing. Sammy, my Sam. Ready? One.
Williston students, everybody up!
Everybody stand. Here we go. One, and Sammy, my Sam.